Hey everybody, what's up? All right, it's Way Back Wednesdays and it's time for another reaction. So, today we are reacting to one of my favorite bands, probably one of your favorite bands, Iron Maiden. I love these guys. They're one of the classic new wave of British heavy metal bands, formed in the mid to late 70s, I think 1976, if I remember correctly, maybe slightly earlier, but I think around 1976, formed by their bass player, Steve Harris, who is awesome. So I think the original lineup for the first two records was Steve Harris on bass, Dave Murray on guitar, Clive Burr on drums, and Paul Di'Anno on vocals. And I think they had a second guitar player who was not Adrian Smith. I think Adrian Smith came around Number of the Beast, if I remember correctly. My history's a bit fuzzy with the band, but I've been a Maiden fan for a while. They were actually one of the first heavy metal bands that I got into in high school because a friend of mine was really into them, and so he'd play me some of their stuff. So I remember very fond memories of hearing things like Killers and Number of the Beast and Can I Play with Madness around when I was 15 and 16. And like I was raised in a pretty conservative Christian household. So up until like the age of 16, I was not allowed to listen to secular music at all. None of it. It was just Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all the time. Until like when I was 16, I begged my dad to let me go and buy a Best of Pink Floyd CD, and he eventually relented. And that's how I got into rock music. That's another story for another day. But I remember when I was like 15, 16, my friend would play me Iron Maiden, and I would be so shocked because I'd never heard anything so like heavy and evil sounding in my life. Like when I heard like Bruce Dickinson's voice doing the Number of the Beast, that scared the shit out of me as a Christian kid in like the early 2000s when I was like a young wee teenager. But today we are reacting to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, which is the title track off, no joke, their seventh album of the same name. I've heard every Iron Maiden record up to Power Slave, so everything after Power Slave I'm not too familiar with, except for maybe a couple of tunes. But I'm definitely going to get into them more. I have seen them live. The last live concert I saw was Iron Maiden at the Molson Amphitheater in Toronto in 2019, the summer of 2019, the year before the pandemic hit. And I took my 65-year-old drummer who's in my band. He'd never been to a metal show before. We loved it. It was great. I got chills up my spine when the crowd just sang along the melody to Fear of the Dark. It was like a religious experience, closest to a religious experience as an atheist like me is going to get. But I have fond memories of that show. They were incredible. The endurance and the stamina that they have in their 60s is amazing. Bruce Dickinson, the air raid siren himself, my God, guys, like he was pulling off those high notes in his late 60s after having beat cancer. And they're still playing things in the original key. They're not down tuning to accommodate Bruce's age or his voice. He's still getting up there, and he was incredible. Maybe as we go through this, I will recount some stories of the concert to you. But it was an amazing experience, and I'll never forget it, and I'm so glad I went. So before we get started, please hit the subscribe button below. If you're new to the channel, ring the bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Give the video a like, and please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Iron Maiden. Let me know what other Iron Maiden tunes you want me to react to next. Like I say, up to Power Slave, I'm good, but everything after, I'm kind of iffy on. So recommend shit to me, and let's get to it. Alright, here we go. This is the studio recording, so I've not heard this, This is apparently the area where they started using synthesizers. So I'm very curious as to what we're going to hear. So here is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Up the fucking irons. Okay, I hear the keyboards. I love that sort of pseudo march thing that Nico McBrain is doing on the drums. Great precision. You can hear Steve Harris starting the gallop that they're famous for. I love this harmonic minor riff they've got going on. That's cool. There's that gallop. I dig the keys. I don't know if it's just me, but Bruce's voice sounds more distorted than usual. It's cool. I love those. I love the high, the O's and stuff that Bruce is doing. He does that a lot. He does that on the Trooper as well. His voice is much more distorted than I would normally expect of him. But it's cool. I love it. He's really going for it. So I'm not sure what key we're in. We're in E. Look at that. I just happened to pluck my guitar string, and so we're in E. So far, the chord progression seems to be for the verse, just they're galloping on the one chord, and then for the chorus, they just go to the flat 6. So 1 flat 6. And that's pretty common for Iron Maiden. They like their 1 flat 6, flat 7 progressions a lot. That's pretty standard for them. They love those. I love those too. It's a great progression when writing, especially when you're making rock and metal. Great fill from Nico McBrain there. Bow. Oh yeah. I love how Bruce is singing along with the riff. Yeah. Sounds like this is some sort of fantasy setting that Bruce is singing about. Somebody with magical powers. So, real quick, things that I'm digging about this so far. Obviously, one of the things about Iron Maiden is their precision. They are an incredibly precise and accurate band. Like you hear how the guitars and the bass are all locked in to that gallop. And even though it's a slower gallop, that's really, 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 really hard to do. I can't do it on guitar. When I was, by the way, guys, I've got a I've got a new record coming out at the end of the summer, and so one of the songs on that record, I wanted to do kind of like a little bit of a tribute to Iron Maiden musically. So I wanted to have that heavy metal gallop at a faster tempo at about 150. Now, because of my palsy, because of my disability, I can't play that gallop at that tempo. At this tempo, I might be able to, but to keep it up at that tempo was really hard, so I couldn't do it. So I got my second guitar player to do it. But usually when Maiden does the gallop, right, there's a little break in the gallop. So they'll be like pedaling on the one chord. They'll be doing and the whole chord, and then they'll go back. So it gives your right hand, your picking hand, a break. I didn't want that. I told my guitar player to my second guitar player to like just keep the gallop going constantly. And by the end of the fucking practice, he wanted to murder me and throw me out the session. Poor guy. I won't put my guitar players through that again. But lesson learned about how difficult that actually is to do. I'm slowly actually working up to it so I can actually play the gallop at higher speeds. But it is not easy to keep that going, and to keep the precision going is an endurance test. Also, I love how strong the melody is. Bruce always writes and sings really strong melodies, and they're instantly singable and recognizable. They're catchy. They stick in your head. And I love how the lead guitar and the vocals are doubling that melody in the chorus. Great arranging and great songwriting and technical ability. Yes, hear that? It's all based off the minor pentatonic, but it's such a strong melody. This kind of reminds me of when the crowd sings along to the melody of Fear of the Dark in concert. A little bit of a similar feel. Okay. Tempo and time signature. Yeah. Oh, I was not expecting the clean guitars. Oh, that's cool. You hear like the fifths and stuff that Steve Harris is doing on the bass? I love this change. And dynamic. Great use of dynamics. I love the high wailing guitars in the background. That's so cool. And Nico's keeping the gallop going on the hi-hat. Yeah, this is cool. Steve Harris loves doing shit like this.
Born of woman, the seventh son, and he in turn the seventh son. He has the power to heal. He has the gift of the second sight. He is the chosen one. So it shall be written. So it shall be done.
The changes here are very interesting. We're obviously shifting keys throughout. Yeah, cool. Oh, I love the choir. And the slow buildup of the distorted guitars. So, yeah, sorry, I misspoke earlier. Steve Harris is doing an octave pedal. So, booty doody 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 doody, and he's switching with the chords. I wonder if this rhythmic idea with the bass and what the drums are doing, I wonder if this is a little bit of a Deep Purple influence. Because this very much reminds me of what Ian Pace and Roger Glover would do during the live sections of Space Truckin' rhythmically. If you guys have ever heard the version off Made in Japan by Deep Purple for Space Truckin', go check that out. That's fucking incredible. But after the main tune is done, there's this insane jam, okay, that goes on, and John Lord goes nuts, and Richie Blackmore goes crazy. But underneath all of that, you hear Roger Glover doing the doody 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 doo, and Ian Pace is going along with them, driving that beat. So I know Iron Maiden are they're huge Deep Purple fans. I know they were an influence for them. I bet that this is maybe a little bit of a reference, a callback to that. I'm loving the choir. I'm loving the use of dynamics and the build so far. I wasn't expecting a nice quiet section. This is so cool. That choir sound is so great. Really, a lot of people worry that when you add keyboards to metal, it's going to kind of make it cheesy and dated. I really feel the keyboards add texture and atmosphere here, and they're used really well. Yeah, guitar's getting into it more. Up in the drive and beat. Yeah, so now the guitar is doing full 16th notes. Bass drum is accenting on 2 and 4. This is so cool, I love it. And I love the ominousness that the choir's adding with that melody. It's very ominous. Killer. Oh! Love the harmony guitars. Classic Maiden. Yeah, I love how the drum is accenting those offbeats. Okay, we've gotten to some sort of odd time signature here. I'm not good at telling what time signature this is. The solos are great. Nice triplets. Now we're back in 4. Nice whammy bars. Nice little diminished run. Cool. Oh, hold up. I gotta go back. There's a lick in there. Listen to that. Here. What does that remind you of? You know what that reminds me of? That little lick? That reminds me of Dimebag. That actually reminds me of that one part in the guitar solo for Cowboys of Hell. Cowboys from Hell. I wonder if this is where Dime got the idea from. Great unison melody between the bass and the guitars. Nice. Oh, love the choir. Accenting those shots. Yeah, now we just got classic Maiden 16 notes going on the bass. Steve Harris is a beast on the bass. Great harmonies and melodies here. Ah, nice little drum fill there.
Chorus.
Okay, wow. Wow. That was quite the way to end it. Wow. I really love how the first half is just singing. And then after Bruce does that little monologue in the quiet section, there's no more singing. It's just all instrumental. And the song is like almost 10 minutes long? That takes balls. Good on you, Iron Maiden. I always love when Iron Maiden goes into an instrumental section because you know it's going to be tight as hell and you know it's going to be melodically interesting. There's so much going on with this tune. Shit. Like, this might be one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs that I've now heard. Like, I really, really, really love this. There's so much to love going on in here. You've got the classic Maiden gallop. You've got the precision between the drums and the bass and the guitars, just getting all those accents so cleanly, so precise. Their precision, guys, it's nuts. Nico McBrain is a crazy drummer. Steve Harris is a monster bass player. They are one of the best rhythm sections in rock and metal. Hands down. You've got great melodies from the guitars. I love how the vocals and the lead guitar double each other. They come up with instantly catchy melodies. I love all the key changes. I love the tempo changes. I love the time signature changes. This is pretty much prog metal, as far as I'm concerned. This is pretty much what it would sound like if Maiden was doing progressive metal, and I know they definitely have progressive influences because they were influenced by bands like Deep Purple and Jethro Tull. I'm pretty sure that that one section in the middle there where it's got the sort of galloping octave bass and the quiet hi-hats is a throwback reference to the live version of Space Truckin' from Deep Purple. I'd put any money on it. Great singing from Bruce. He's gonna, of course, get up there and hit those high notes. He's clear. He's bright. He's able to get such clarity and power, and with so much distortion on his voice. And he's got great diction in his singing. That is a mark of a great singer. That's really, 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 really hard to do. And he pulled that shit off when I saw him live. So, hats off to these guys. They're still doing it after, God. How long have they been around now? Almost 45 years, guys. I think 45 years this year. So they're going to be 50 years old come 2026, and they're still going. That's incredible, and that's the legacy of a great band, and they're not resting on their laurels either. I mean, I've heard some of a couple of their new tunes, and they're still pushing the limits, and they're still doing new shit. So good on them for not, taking the easy way out and still going. Iron Maiden's a great fucking band. I love them. I love them so fucking much, as you can see. So great tune. I'm so glad that I reacted to this. I'm so glad that I get to share this with you guys and that you guys get to share it with me. Wonderful. Please let me know in the comments what other Iron Maiden tunes I should react to post Power Slave. I would love to get into more of the studio recordings for some of the later albums. So please let me know. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell so you can get notified of new videos. And please give the video a like. Thank you for your support. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 subs. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. When I sat down to record this video today, we were close to 990. So we're almost there. So we are within closing. We're almost, and we're in the home stretch. So thank you so much to all the new support coming to the channel. And I will see you guys Friday for whatever I feel like Fridays. I won't tell you what I'm doing because it's going to be a surprise as always. And I will see you guys Friday. Take care and peace. Bye.